can't be bothered to watch the end. Timelash has precisely 3 interesting things about it, and one of them doesn't happen till tomorrow. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. I mentioned last week that in a 2009 Doctor Who magazine poll, The Twin Dilemma was rated as the lowest ranked Doctor Who story of all time, number 200 out of 200 stories that had then been aired. This one right here, Timelash, it came in at number 199. And the reason it ranks so low is not because it's actively bad, it's that it's just dull. It is so dreadfully, drearily dull. And in fact, as I mentioned, I can really only come up with 3 interesting things about it. And one of them I'll save till tomorrow so I have something to talk about. Now, first of all, after the previous story, The Two Doctors featured a guest role from Jacqueline Pearce, who played Servalan on Blake 7. This story gets another notable Blake 7 actor in the personage of Paul Darrow, a man who I truly admire and who unfortunately fairly recently passed away. He is another actor I would have dearly loved to have met at a convention at some point, and now I will never have the chance. I didn't really appreciate him until just in the last 2 years when I watched through Blake 7 and discovered what a remarkable actor he was, and his autobiography is really fantastic as well. I highly recommend it. So he appears in this story as the political figurehead of the local culture in question, after the previous figurehead is murdered by the despotic ruler of this planet that I can't even be bothered to remember the name of. And there's some other stuff, and there's this thing called the Timelash that they throw traitors down and blah blah blah, and Paul Darrow hams it up left and right. He was apparently initially asked to actually play the role similar to Avon from Blake 7, which he roundly refused to do. Instead, he plays the role as Richard III, and I gather he even asked to be able to have a hump, which the director refused. And so at least the fleeting moments of the story when Paul Darrow is on screen are interesting. They're fun to watch. And they're about the only interesting scenes in this first 45 minutes. The Doctor and Perry just bicker endlessly. Neither of them is likable. Neither of them is useful. And the plot itself is just dull. Now, the other vaguely interesting thing about this story is that it's written as a sequel to a previous story, but it's a previous story that never aired. It's a sequel to a hypothetical Third Doctor story with Third Doctor and Jo Grant, and apparently the two of them showed up on this planet at some point in the past and did something heroic and saved the world, and they've gone down in local folklore as being the heroes of the planet. And so when the Doctor shows up, everybody is very happy to see him, especially Paul Darrow, who has sinister reasons to manipulate him and blah blah blah. So anyway, it's interesting to base an entire story, to write it not just as an offhand, oh, I've been here before, but actually have the crux of the story surround the fact that it's a sequel to a story that never actually happened. So that's at least intriguing. And that's really the only intriguing thing about this story. I have one more day to suffer through it, and the big shocking revelation that comes at the end of part 2 that you'll get to look forward to hearing about tomorrow. I'll see you then.